all the way from a very sunny and warm SoCal into 32 million homes and counting. This is America Trends. I'm Barry Nussbaum, filling in tonight for Dr. Gina. Our poll question today: which Trump child had the best speech at the Republican National Convention? Donald Jr., Ivanka, Tiffany, or Eric? Vote in that poll at u2america.com or use the U2 America app, available now for Apple and Android devices. Download it if you don't have it yet. Okay, we're seeing a frightening new trend. Muslims are infiltrating the security in major sports complexes, just as was the case with the Orlando shooter. Here to give us the inside story and why that matters, Lisa Benson. Lisa is a national security investigator, an analyst, a broadcaster, and a national security public speaker. Lisa comes to us from Phoenix, Arizona, and you can listen to her on Salem KKNT 960, The Patriot. She's the founder of the National Security Task Force, now in 52 cities. You can listen to her on Sundays, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. She connects the dots on Middle Eastern chaos and terror, and she is my friend. Lisa, how you doing, babe?
I'm so glad to be here with you, Barry. Thanks for having me.
I'm glad you're feeling better.
Oh, yeah, it was rough last week, but I'm better now. Thank you.
Yay. So let's talk.
Yeah.
This afternoon, you're telling me that Americans need to know who is getting clearance to protect special public areas in the United States. There are people that we don't want doing the job that are doing the job. Tell us what you found out.
I found out from an airline pilot 2.5, 3 years ago who requested a meeting from me, heard me speak on national security, and he was the one who tipped me off. That's when we didn't know anything about the airline insecurity issue. And he had told me that in Sky Harbor Airport here in Phoenix, they had fired the janitorial service company and had hired an offshore company that was hiring refugees to work behind TSA lines and in janitorial services and in baggage areas. It was so startling to me, I couldn't imagine it, and so I spent 2 years investigating it. And what I found out is that there is an offshore company in the Netherlands that works in 77 countries, has 500,000 employees, and is an $80 billion company that came to the United States and set up a subsidiary, and using cheap labor, they are hiring our refugees. And they say to our city councils that these refugees are vetted, they're paying a competitive price, but here in Phoenix, the bid was for $10 million a year for 5 years, which was $1 million a year more than the other company that was fired by the city council. So we started digging and investigating. And subsequently, we found out that they're using an employment agency in the United States that has a relationship with the United Nations. The United Nations and the Refugee Resettlement Project. Not only are they working in our airports, Barry, but they are working in university sports complexes and sports complexes, not even universities, city sports complexes, city councils, municipal buildings. It's cheap labor. And out of the 85,000 refugees who came here in 2016, many of them are being hired as security guards and in secure areas as security guards, baggage handlers, and janitors in airports and airport hangars.
All right, so let's go back for a minute. In the intro, I said Muslims are being hired. What I should have said, to be clear, is Muslim refugees, and inclusive in that sort of big picture is an unknown quantity of those refugees from Muslim countries that have not and could not be vetted because, quite simply, they're coming from places where there is no database that can be accessed by anybody in this country if we did want to vet them. Am I right?
This is so accurate. So over the 3 years that I've done the investigation, and we do many investigations, we're not just a radio show, we're an investigative team, we have gone to the city councils and we have spoken to Department of Homeland Security in our cities and asked them, how do you qualify and quantify the use of these refugees that are not vetted? And what Homeland Security says to us over and over again is we use the set of standards provided to us by the Department of Homeland Security. So then I went and I found Phil Haney, the whistleblower from the Department of Homeland Security, who just published the book, See Something, Say Nothing. And I interviewed him, and that's when I found the 800 documents that were purged that were never cited about the issues of Muslim Brotherhood in the United States and in our communities. So all in all, if they are using the standard of the Department of Homeland Security to vet people in these secure areas, these are not standards by which we should be using, and puts the American public in jeopardy. Very serious problem.
Well, let's talk about one area that scares the hell out of me. When I fly, I'm waiting in line sometimes for 2 hours. I'm taking off my shoes, I'm taking off my belt, my phone comes out, the computer comes out, I've been frisked, I go through the secondary inspection with the hands up, which offends my wife to no great surprise.
Yes.
And yet you're telling me that hundreds of thousands of refugees that have not been properly vetted, that are coming from the countries that we can't vet, are behind TSA lines in airports with access to baggage and access to those planes, and now in sporting events where sometimes there's 50,000 people in an arena, and
I'm telling you, Barry,
those people are behind the security lines?
Yes, absolutely. I am telling you that we have this documented. We have this researched. Ambassador Woolsey, the former director of the CIA, took it to CNN and took it to Fox. We can't seem to get the lawmakers to really hear this story and have a congressional hearing on it. And I'm not sure why that is, but that is the pursuit that I am in right now, is to try to get Americans to sign up on the task force to reach out to their lawmakers, because this story must be heard broadly. We put ourselves on planes, we put our children on planes, we all go to sporting events, and look, it happened in Washington, D.C. just a few months ago. One of the security guards was a Somali who was a war criminal, and CNN busted him.
Lisa, wasn't the Orlando shooter who had all these clearances and then murdered everybody in the nightclub? Didn't he have those same clearances?
He absolutely had clearances. And the question of who gets clearances and how they're getting clearances and how they're getting vetted, I'm telling you, it is not safe to fly.
All right, Lisa, tell us quickly. We've got to go. How can people find you so they can help? Give it to us quick.
Go to lisabensonradioshow.com and just send me an email and I'll communicate with you that way and listen to our broadcast. Barry, thank you so much.
Lisa, thanks for being with us. Scary stuff. Appreciate it being here. Coming up next on America Trends, Tom Del Beccaro.